words that come out through this session, Father, that you would just enable us, empower us to build a structure in which your revival will. Amen. Okay. All right, so I was asked to teach on how to engage ministries on campus to buy into the prayer movement. How many of you guys currently have a prayer furnace on campus? Just okay. All right, so a little bit of background on Pepperdine. I attended Pepperdine for 4 years. The way that we started was through the Purple Pig Tour and everything, and we started like with 3 people crying out behind the chapel, like day and night, 4 hours a night, like praying for the glory of God to come, you know?
Come on.
For the first month. And then God just really revealed to us in that time, just like crying out, just asking for His will, like that unity was really important for our campus, and in order to take our campus, we would need unity. Like, we would have to, engage the other ministries, and we had this vision of this campfire. So it was like, we saw like 6 or 7 logs coming together, and God was like, those logs are different ministries on campus. And then we saw this fire fall, and He's like, I want you to build an altar of unity where my fire can fall and just consume.
Good.
So it was really funny because later on, when God called us to come out, we're like, oh, what should we call our community? Someone's like, the burning ones. Let's call it the campfire because of that vision. It's so dumb, but okay, that's what it's about. Okay, so being very practical, looking back into my experience at Pepperdine, it didn't look like a specific strategy or download, which is why I'm going to encourage you guys to be very creative. But looking back, there were strategies in how we approach things that I think will be very helpful, and you guys can learn from my mistakes and our mistakes on campus. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is build a culture of honor. The way that you engage other ministries and other churches is that you honor them. You learn how to love them. You learn how to pull out the gold in them. You learn how to see what their heart and their vision and their gifting is and what they can bring to the body. The second is that you have to be selfless. There's no shortcut in building relationship. There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
You have to cultivate relationship. You have to build trust. You have to build honor with the different ministries. Because when they can see that, you're somebody who loves the Lord, you're somebody whose desire is for this campus, they're on your team. And the third thing is creativity. Okay, so we went from being 3 people to being the primary prayer movement on campus. We could gather an event, and then we could mobilize every single ministry on campus and put their name on it. This event called Unity Through Prayer is mobilized by university ministries, by campus ministries, by HRL, by all the organizations on campus. And what happened is that you identify, number 1, what we're going to do is have strategizing time. Identify the different ministries on campus. So make a list of the different ministries, of the different churches that you know. Number 2, find your persons of peace. These people could be very influential. These people could just be burning ones who you see are on fire and have the same desire for prayer as you for your campus. Number 3, you want to set up meetings with each of these individual people that you know. Think about who you already know. In our case, what happened was when we were praying, God had already been creating divine appointments and showing me persons of peace. We would be sitting in the CAP, me and the people that I was running with, and God would be highlighting certain people. And so we'd get coffee with them, we'd pray over them, and they would encounter the Holy Spirit. They would be set free and just get delivered, and then boom, they're automatically part of the prayer movement. They automatically buy into what you say because His love became so real to them. And then number 3 is you want to do something creative. Each campus is different. There's a different strategy and download that I believe the Lord is going to download on us for our campuses. For us, what worked really well was 24-hour of prayer. When you're able to do a 24-hour prayer, it's okay, hey guys, we're going to build unity on our campus. We're going to it's kind of like team building. Like we're going to try to mobilize everyone to come together under the banner of Jesus. We're going to, each ministry take 3 hours. Take 3 hours, lead worship, lead the person. Something else that worked really well was like, for instance, like social justice. Think of something that will work, that will unite people first. If your goal is to build unity, like it could just be like a worship event. It could be like a unity through prayer event, which we did, where it's like, okay, I'm going to bring together I'm going to bring together CM, HRL, everybody, and hey, like we're going to come together in a room and we're going to plan for this together. Like when we have a project to work towards together, everyone, like that big vision becomes very clear and they begin to carry that vision too and pray into it. So like I knew that they're the Presbyterian church, down the street. How do you get to them, And I was like, I already knew like people in that ministry and they already built that trust. And so you have to build that trust and that relationship. But I was like, for this event, we really need like ushers. You guys are really hospitable. Like, oh yeah, we'd love to serve in that way. Like boom, when they're serving, they automatically bring their whole ministry. Like HRL was like, hey, we need people to bake for this event. Like see people's gifting, like pull out the golden people, see what God's desire is for each person, really what his gifting is on each ministry, and pull that out, because when they there's just natural intuition and yearning in their heart to like serve the Lord through the gifts that God's given them, and each ministry is gifted with something different. And so I was like, Adorn, you guys can do the intercession and prayer for this event. You guys are really good at designing Wonderfully Made, this girls group. Like, can you guys help design flyers? So when I was able to pull together the leaders of each ministry into a room together, and like pray together over the vision and be like, hey, we need your help, like you automatically got it. It's like really easy and unity comes. The last thing that I wanted to talk about was finances. And I know a lot of you guys, this is really practical, are on a college campus. And think about who's like a registered organization on campus already? Okay, all right. Like a ministry or an organization or club on campus. What we did was, when we built our house of prayer, we did not want to just be another ministry. Because when you're another ministry, you're like pulling people away from where they are, right? So what we did was we're like, what we want to do, like our goal here on this campus is to strengthen unity, is to build unity on the campus, is to support whatever we see God going on. And so we had, freshman year, I was part of like almost every ministry on campus. Like I spent time pouring into those different ministries, and I built that trust. And through that, they were able, it turned around when we were ready to mobilize for everything. They all wanted to come too. For finances, a lot of your campuses, you have an organization, you have like an inter-club council where you're able to request funds. It's very strategic because God desires to use his finances for his kingdom too, and you need a budget for some of these things. So the way that I would go about talking to them is come up with a financial plan, be very practical, and say things that will make them understand, don't be afraid to be simple. For instance, when I was talking to them, they don't understand revival or Jesus coming back or the end times or anything like that, right? So it's like, hey, our goal is to build family and community on our campus. We want to do social justice, we want to, things like that. And then, the finances come easily. The last thing that I want to say is, when you are appealing to ministries, make sure that you honor them and that you go through the leaders. I think we've messed up a few times. If you are working with a church and you go through just the students, it could be messed up really quickly. You want to build relationships with the pastors. You want to build relationships. I had meetings with the campus minister, with the chaplain and everyone. And the thing is that they love working with students. So when they don't know you, their heart is immediately for you, and they want to meet with you. So use that. It might take a few times. Like your end goal is not your first meeting. Like in your first meeting, don't be like, oh, I got this vision that fire and revival is gonna come to Pepperdine and stuff. Your first meeting is going to be building trust, like learning about them, like sharing about your past, and then as you go on, like you're just gonna build that trust. You're gonna build that honor. When they see that you honor them, they're gonna be like, I'm on board, because like.
Yeah.
You just like, okay, let's face it, this is all about Jesus. It's about unity on our campus and our desire. Like we're on this, you have to let them know that you're on the same team. You have to know that, and when you do that, then that's good. And then don't be afraid to use language that they understand. I know I messed up with that too, because you have to know the background of every ministry and the background that they're coming from. Use language that they understand.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's the terms of practicals. Does anyone have any questions?
So good.
Awesome.
Okay, so in times of strategy, what you're gonna do is you're gonna literally like pray and make a list of all of the different ministries on your campus. I know San Jose State, how many do you have? Like 40? Like
15.
15? Okay. 15. Really? Man, I see all these posts like all the time, and I know you already have like a unity through whatever thing. So list your ministries, list even the churches around there, and begin to ask the Lord to highlight people that He wants you to become very intentional with. Like you're going to be very intentional with them. And it's not in like a manipulative or controlling way. It's not like, oh, like I need them, but it's like, hey God, I want to see your heart for the people, for the persons of peace that you're going to use to unite this campus. Because your goal and desire for this campus, like a revival movement cannot be sustained without unity. Like let's be real. Like just His presence comes with unity. Like we built covenant this morning between each other, between the different campuses in Northern California. Now we're going to build unity on your campus between the ministries in your campus. Okay, so do that. You're gonna, I would like, hi Danny, I would like in your time of strategy to begin to already set up meetings or like email them, specifically like pastors and stuff, because right now you might not feel like, our ministry, our house of prayer isn't ready to bring in other people. That's fine. The goal right now is to build relationship and to build trust with those that you already know, because it's going to completely turn around when you meet them. So set up meetings. Number 4, think of something creative or strategies. Like on every campus, it's going to be different. Maybe on your campus, you're going to think of what we did. The Lord gave us the vision to start prayer for the leaders of every ministry on the campus every 3rd Thursday. Okay, so that's how it started. Every 3rd Thursday of the month, we would gather together like this, like a few leaders from every ministry on the campus to pray together. When you're praying for each other, you can't hate each other. Like, there's no way that disunity can stand if you're praying for one another. Because you realize, like, their destiny is mine and my destiny is theirs. Like, we need to work together. So I would encourage, pray together. That might be a strategy. Like, maybe it's going to be, okay, we're going to do 24 hours of prayer. Maybe it's like, okay, we're going to show, like, Father of Lights. Or Nefarious documentary. So, that's so unoffensive, and that worked really well for our school. Like, we did Nefarious documentary. Everyone came out. At the end, we had a time of prayer. It was unifying. But, like, our last year, we held 6 major events where we had representatives from every ministry, and, like, a lot of people come out. The first one was a social justice event, okay? The second one, we went a little further. It was a unity through prayer event, okay? So we all prayed together. The next one, I think we went into Bethel. Bethel came, you know what I mean? Like, next one was Wilder, and then the next one was Wilder. So you go like, boom, boom, boom. As you build trust, you're like, hey, okay. And then one thing because I know, like, Dave was asking us, like, what's one thing you wish you knew, or like a mistake that you made? Okay, no, you're going to be called a cult, okay? Yeah. You're doing things for the Lord. Don't be afraid to offend people. Yeah. Like, you need to carry that vision, and that's a mistake that we made. You can't let it die or burn out. Like, don't be afraid to offend people for the sake of unity, but know that unity is important on your campus.
Right,
yeah.
right. So, amen. Anyone have any questions? Dude, pick her brain, dude. Like, Pepperdine's has some amazing things.
So what are, like, your ministries on your, like, IV, like, names them out? Or is it churches?
Churches. Yeah.
Yeah, for churches, for me, okay, so SoCal's a little different because we work with ministries, but for churches, what I did was the more people you can connect and network with, the better. God gives you a lot of grace, and you have to know that the steps of a righteous man are ordained by the Lord. Literally, like, I would go to a retreat, and the people sitting next to me, like, you know they're a divine appointment. You know God put them in that seat. You meet them, and they're like, hey, I'm actually the new hire chaplain for Pepperdine. And I'm like, oh, good to meet you. You know, I love to grab coffee on food. That's how I met Lauren Leatherberry, who literally, like, filled our stuff for the staff at Pepperdine. Like, she was in my group at a retreat. And, like, who knew? I could have gotten, like, someone useless to us. But God knows. He knows. Wow. Like, just be real. Just be aware of every divine appointment and networking. At the churches that I was working with, let's see, I networked with the band, I networked with the pastor, I networked with the spiritual mothers. Like, when you have, like, all 5 of those on your team, it's like, okay, we're down. And spiritual, they want to help you. Like, that's their desire. You know, I want to pray for you, Audrey. I want to be there for you. Okay, perfect. Like, we'll bless your church. Boom. So, it's really easy. Just know that the favor of the Lord is with you. Be aware of divine appointments. Yeah.
Amen.
You have to be as cute as Audrey.
It helps if you're, like, charming and, like, just it. Okay, one more thing is don't be afraid to delegate this to people.
Yeah.
I know, like, each of you has a team, a delegated team, and maybe your gift isn't networking. Well, maybe, like, but probably 4 people in your ministry are, like, be like, hey, who do you know in this? Go out, like, get it. Yeah? Yep.
Really good.
Just really practical, really practical.
So good.
Okay, all right.
All right, awesome.